I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh yeah, let the buzz begin as the sounds of Mac Lish fill the room. How's everyone doing? My name is Flobo Boyce, and you are tuned in to the NXT Aftershow exclusively on AfterBuzz TV Wrestling and Sports. How's everyone living? The show comes to you live from Full Sail University, where we're broadcasting live right here in Los Angeles, California. So, before we go on to all the things, we're talking about matches, Dusty Classic results, let's introduce my co-panelist. She is from Championship Wrestling from Arizona, the Emmy-nominated Emily May.
Hey!
How's it going?
Things are going.
I missed you last week.
I know, I missed you last week too.
You out there fighting crime?
Yeah, I was out fighting crime.
Yeah.
You know, saving the world from, you know, all the bad stuff.
You give me a nice talking to?
Just, yeah.
Stop being criminal.
I was talking to the flu.
Yeah, for sure.
And all the colds.
I'll
get you.
Yeah, all right, cut a promo on the flu.
Yeah.
We also have a very special guest. This guy is the voice of the AEW Dynamite After Show, as well as the AEW social media skim. Give it up for the Hall of Farmer, Jack Farmer.
Hey, you know, you guys, this is my favorite place to steal jokes from, so I decided to come on back.
Why, you're stealing all of our jokes from here?
Yeah, everyone
Not
listening
cool.
and watching, if you like the jokes on this show,
Right.
make sure to tune into AEW, because you're going to get to hear them all over again.
Okay, so Flobo, you can't do your full...
Exactly. If I could be serious for a moment,
Full performance.
can I
It's gonna-
say that the NXT After Show and the AEW After Show are like the tag team of wrestling coverage in the Wednesday Night War, exclusively here on AEW.
It's the
Wrestling
Wednesday
Sports.
night hug. It's not a war.
Yeah, it's like Wednesday Night Hug. But I'll be remiss if I don't mention the man in the booth, the man about town, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ryguy.
Am I your booth thing of the week?
You're my booth
It's
thing
your
every
booth
week, sir.
thing.
I'm
the
your
week.
booth thing of the
Yeah.
week.
Thank you so much for moderating the chat and interacting
We're
with our
moderating. We got
viewers.
Dylan Matthews from Down Under.
Dylan,
Down
Matthews.
Under.
Aussie. Oi, oi, oi.
Oi, oi, oi. He says, hi, I'm here. GIF King in the building. Shh, it's starting. Cut a promo on the coronavirus. We're not going to do that.
I told him I never visited Australia, and he said, whatever you do, don't go to Canberra. So I'll avoid Canberra, whatever the capital city is.
Canberra.
Canberra. Shout out to everyone in the chat, interacting with us, having a good time. Let's talk about, before we get to tonight's episode of NXT, Worlds Collide was this Saturday, Rumble weekend. Emily May, overall thoughts about that show?
Oh my gosh, Worlds Collide?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Colliding
okay.
worlds.
So just colliding, right? So again, you have your top brands, you have your NXT, you have NXT UK going at it, you know. I had my favorite moments.
Go on.
Did you have more? So I have to say, you know, it was I like the Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm moment.
Okay.
I think we talked about it a little bit where the ending wasn't quite the way that was expected, but I really love seeing them both together. And then I also liked the tag team. Well, it was bigger than a tag team. It was Imperium, the factions.
Okay,
going
that's
at
tag team
it.
match. Sure.
Imperium,
That's the show for you?
Yeah,
Okay.
those were like my two moments where I feel like Worlds Collide brought it, and I actually watched the final match with Imperium and Undisputed Era multiple times because so much happened, and I loved it so much. And I just was like, all right, I gotta.
Would you be down for
gotta
another
watch it
Worlds
again.
Collide, another NXT versus NXT UK, or would you rather keep them separate?
You know, I actually like having them both kind of go against each other because we don't necessarily. If you're not familiar with NXT UK talent, you get to see them.
You should be.
You should be, but if you're not, this is a really great opportunity to see them and see them go against talent that we get to see weekly.
Sure. Jack Farmer, you know, usually in the slot, there'll be a takeover the night before the Royal Rumble. This was decided that takeover would be in February, and then we had Worlds Collide. Was it the right move? Was it a way to showcase new talent, or were you a fan of the takeover model?
Do we lose either way? I mean,
we don't.
either way, you get these amazing matches. I don't remember the last time an NXT brand was involved in a show and it wasn't great.
True.
So, I mean, whether it's the Worlds
Good
Collide
point.
or whether it's Takeover, it was an amazing show. They're always amazing, and I feel like adding Worlds Collide just means we get two of them instead of one. So I think it's a win.
Yeah,
Well, and I
absolutely.
liked how it led up to, you know, are we going to see any of these people tomorrow at the Royal Rumble? Like, it was like,
Right.
oh, what's going to happen, you know? we kind of had an idea of who would show up, but then there was a lot of surprises of who was going.
Let's talk about that cruiserweight match. The 4-way match. Swerve Scott, Travis Banks, Jordan Devlin, and Angel Garza. With Devlin getting the win, and I told you before this, I was torn because I feel like Devlin is him and Tyler Bate are the faces of the brand.
Yeah.
I'm so glad for them. First piece of gold. But Angel Garza was kind of coming into his own as a cruiserweight champion. What do you thought about that?
So watching, this match exclusively, Garza had really great moments where I really thought that he was going to take it, and I thought he was going to win. And so to have that kind of surprise where Devlin was the winner, I think helped not only appreciate new talent and give new talent an opportunity, but also say, okay, things are going to get shaken up. And with NXT, things always change and things always are surprising. And
True.
so in a good way.
Fair enough.
So.
Well, I'm following this one, Jack. Angel Garza was on the losing in this match, but he has tremendous upside. Yeah. If you were the Phantom GM, what would you put him?
Angel Garza is such a star. I love Angel Garza. He's one of my favorites in NXT right now.
Because of the pants?
Because of the pants.
Just the pants.
He's just the pants.
He's just got that, I hate using the word swagger because it's so overused, but he does. He's got that presence. His matches are amazing.
He has that aura that, when he walks out,
kissing grandmas
he's
and aunties.
bringing it, and
I'm bummed he lost the title because I agree. I think he looked good with that title.
Yeah.
But I think now the door's open for anything.
True. Now this belt can be, or championship can be on NXT UK, it can be NXT. Top of the card tonight, though, Finn Balor, Prince Balor, finger guns himself.
Yeah.
In a curious match against Trent Seven. We saw a bit of the video that was posted yesterday of him getting involved with Trent Seven. I'm not quite told what the reason of the match was, but the match itself was pretty solid. Emily may walk me through this. Finn Balor being more aggressive than he ever has been before.
Yeah, because again, yesterday we saw the promo, or Monday, or was it yesterday?
Yeah. One of those days.
One of those days.
They all
blend together.
Yeah.
But we saw the promo where Finn Balor attacks Trent Seven, and again, you're like, oh, he's being super aggressive, and then here he comes out and he has just an anger and aggressiveness that we really haven't seen, and it reflected in every move he did in the ring tonight. He was very efficient, and it just seemed that there was just this pent up anger, and I'm not sure where that's coming from.
True.
But it was, I think, very effective in taking Trent Seven down. And Trent Seven, this was a great match for him to be in.
Yeah.
I think it highlighted, he had a really good offense at a couple moments and really kind of fought back, and I think it was a good match to highlight his talent.
Real quick, taking a step back to Worlds Collide. David Christopher Punk Rocks in the chat who says Garza should have retained a frowny face, which the phrase frowny face always tickles me. I can't say frowny face with a straight face. Jack Farmer, Trent Seven is a fantastic competitor. Yep. I mean, you can't get a ticket to the dance if you're not good at what you do. But with all the buzz surrounding Tyler Bate, right? Is it kind of weird that Trent Seven seems to be being lost in the shuffle, or am I just being off my rocker here?
That's where I think this was a perfect match for him. It was a great chance for him to show out with one of the top stars in the industry, let alone the brand. And it gave us a chance to watch one of his matches and see him without Tyler Bate.
True.
In the ring with him.
Yeah.
And I thought he came across well. Of course, Finn's always great, and I still am a Tyler Bate guy, but I thought it was a win-win match in this case.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, to be going against Finn Balor,
there's Tyler Bate. That sexy guy.
It's that ultimate opportunity, and I feel like Trent Seven really took that and embraced it tonight and was like, okay, I'll do anything and I'll make it look really good.
Yeah, and Finn is all success. He beat him, but he was like, Johnny Gargano. He just wants that Johnny Gargano.
There's a frustration that Balor's looking for this gold. He's looking for things that he's
Is that
left
an Irish
behind.
shot? Looking for gold.
Oh, no!
I can't believe it, Emily.
That wasn't at all. He's, looking for that next, he's had everything. And so he's looking for that next step in his career, and so he's searching for it and fighting for it.
Can I just say that 1916 just looks just nasty? It just
1917?
No, his finishing move, the 1916 DDT. That's a good movie. Welcome back to Popcorn Talk.
I guess it was a good movie. I don't really know what that has to do
his finishing move, the 1916.
It's the cold. world, guys.
It's absolutely devastating. Real quick, we saw 2 promos tonight of the numbers being rearranged into
Yeah,
2/5/2020. Any thoughts about what that can be, you think?
I mean, it's a date.
Well, yeah, it's next week, but
Yeah.
I don't know if we would think it will be a debut or a match or a...
I don't know.
I don't know.
It always feels like debut, right?
Yeah, it's a debut of
I would
something.
think debut, but who knows? It could be a new title. I don't know. What
I
it could
don't know.
be?
An announcement? I don't know.
And it could be an announcement. But yeah, I like the fact that it was like half moons and full moons, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. What can that possibly be? But moving on, before we go into further, my man Jack Farmer, since you're our guest on the Violator Couch,
What?
can you do us a favor and cut a promo to have the
Time to pay the bills, ladies and gentlemen. That means we need you guys to hit the like button, fill out a little comment, and hit the subscribe button. That's what keeps us on the air. But most of all, share it with your friends. You can do it on
Yeah.
Twitter. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on Instagram, TikTok. Do people still
You
do
can.
Snapchat? Sure.
Yeah.
Do it there as well. We really, really appreciate
All
it.
the
And you
platforms.
guys are the ones that make us the ESPN of TV talk.
Talk. Oh.
Right guy in the booth, do me a favor. Tell the world what other shows you're on right now, man. Put it yourself over, brother.
Am I cutting myself a promo right now?
Yeah, cut yourself a promo. Why not?
All right, well, here we go. I'm on Star Wars News every Thursdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, and I'm also producing Flobedo, Flobedo.com, every week
Yeah.
on the Star Trek Picard series, Thursdays at what time?
9 p.m.
Yes. And also, check out a new article I just put out. If you're excited for the Clone Wars just coming on Disney Plus, and you don't want to watch all 115 episodes, I got an article for you. You can watch 48.
Oh man, right guy, the Finn Balor of
Wow.
AfterBuzz TV.
Shout out to Jack Farmer.
Yeah, man.
Right,
Fancy
best.
Jack.
Right,
Thank you
you're the
for
only
all
reason
that
I'm
you
on this
do.
show. I just want to, I want to work with you again.
Wow, thank you.
Let's
He
talk.
keeps us all together.
Yeah, exactly. He's the glue. But let's talk about this women's match. Shotzi Blackheart, which I said on Monday night, she was my pick to win the Royal Rumble. I
Yes.
drew number 26,
You
didn't
drew
win
number
it.
26, she
Comes
did.
out on a tank
The mini tank.
A tank?
I loved it.
against Deonna Purrazzo. Thoughts about the match, Emily May?
Oh, I just was obsessed with the tank.
Yeah, the tank is going to Mania. That's it.
It's going to Mania.
Forget Shotzi.
It's going to be another Rusev entrance, but just her in a little mini
Rusev
tank.
versus. Oh wow, that's kind of a okay. So that's
Sorry.
the match.
Anyway, Shotzi Blackheart is like she's a rising star in NXT. She made her debut in the Royal Rumble on Sunday, a surprise entrance, and I think that both of them together, Shotzi and Deonna Purrazzo are really fantastic. I think they both work really well together. They both have fantastic looks, and so when they're in the ring together, they really just look fabulous.
Yeah.
And I think they were doing some really sophisticated moves, and I think it's gonna. They both were highlighted and showed that they can bring it, and they're both gonna be huge.
Absolutely.
NXT
Jack Farmer,
stars.
we're watching this match at the Black Hollywood Live Pavilion on the second floor of AfterBuzz TV studios.
By the coffee shop.
By the coffee shop. And all the...
We were breaking it down.
The beds for the host. When Shotzi Blackheart won, you kind of went, oh, that's pretty cool. I want to know
Yeah.
that like knee-jerk reaction that
I
you got.
loved it. I loved it. I'm
Yeah.
all in on Shotzi Blackheart. I think the name sounds cool. The look is cool.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of her. The Filthy Filipino. I think.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. She calls herself that, guys.
just-
I'm
Yeah,
saying, don't
that's-
get mad at Jack for
I was
saying
about to
that.
say, whoa,
Yeah,
Jack.
yeah.
Jack.
She calls
Jack,
herself
what are
that.
you doing?
Educate
I
yourselves.
I love how they're building her up, where she just was signed a few months ago,
yeah.
and they're already throwing her into all these situations, and I just love that. It's like, you go for it when you get signed to NXT.
I feel like
just go for it.
the merchandise makes itself too with her.
Yeah.
She's great.
I will pay money for a horn helmet, for sure.
Yeah,
And I love
mean,
the fact that she went back in her tank after the match. It was like, I'm gonna go back.
Which, I mean, as an athlete, because, I mean, you're familiar with wrestling in general.
Yeah.
Like, after you work out, you want to be as flat as possible. But she
And then she's like
compresses herself.
crunched up completely. And I love how she's just like does her little move and then drives off.
Just power wheels is like,
Yeah,
that's
I think
crazy.
they need to do. I think the WWE Performance Center YouTube needs to do a behind the scenes on her
Yeah.
of kind of how they created the tank and the look.
It
And all
just
that.
throws me back to
That would be
WrestleMania
fun.
3 with the ring carts. You know?
Oh my gosh, the greatest.
Bring that back.
They do need to bring that back. Yes.
I'll be so on board.
Yes,
Pirate
100%.
ships. This year's
Yes.
Pirate ships, I know.
Oh my goodness.
Do it.
You guys,
It'd be
there's
the
gonna
best
be a
Mania
big pirate
ever.
ship. There's gonna be a big sail. There's gonna be pirate ships coming down.
Why the heck not, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about Unlimited Potential. Keith Lee, the new North American champion.
Yes.
Sidebar, that North American title looks perfect on her shoulder. I am on
Yeah.
board.
It looks good, just right there. you know.
Let's talk about that crowd, man. They're on board. They're chanting Keith. That one lady in the front row was going nuts. She
yes.
was like, Keith. Oh my gosh.
It was amazing. I mean, he just like captured the crowd. The crowd loves him. Fans just adore him, and they're basking in his glory.
Yeah, basking in his glory. It's Jack Farmer. He calls himself a lot of things, but he says he's
sing
the
it.
prophecy ender.
Yes.
How's this guy can drip so much confidence and we still like him?
Look at him. He's
pretty sexy. I can't lie.
He's massive. Who's gonna tell him otherwise, right?
Right.
I agree with you. I think the title looks perfect on his shoulder. As soon as he won it, didn't it just feel like it was a new era for the?
Yes, absolutely.
Ironically, leaving the Undisputed era, a new era for the North American title. This title is now the title I want to see defended more than any other title in NXT.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
And your mind can just wander on who you want to see him defend it against. I think he's great.
So let's talk about this new division, Emily May.
This new division.
Dominic Dijakovic comes out. Oh, Damian Priest first.
Oh,
and
well, Damian Priest first,
yeah,
yeah.
he's doing the air archery or whatever. And I don't know what was he shooting at, but then Dominic Dijakovic says, "Hey, look, Keith Lee,
Hey.
we had this giant rivalry last year. I deserve it first. Impromptu match. Damian Priest, Dominic Dijakovic. Thoughts about the match and what the new NA title division looks like."
Oh man, I mean that's a big question. So like
Huge
two
question.
questions,
That's what I do.
two-parter,
That's what I do. Yeah.
two-parter. It was a straight up fight. They were first they were confronting Keith Lee, and then they're like, nah, it's just between us.
Yeah.
So they have to work it out between them. They're both really great athletes, and I think they really just were frustrated, and they're trying to they want their spot in the spotlight, their moment in the sun, and they haven't gotten it, and so they're trying to fight for it. And so it was really good. They really showed that they want it, and so I think we'll see.
Keith
see what
Lee
happens.
and Dominic Dijakovic are just two people that seem to, no matter what they do, keep butting heads.
Keep butting
yeah.
heads, yeah.
And it's interesting how they've butted heads a ton of times, but it seems like every time they find a way to raise the stakes just a little bit more.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
higher, yeah.
And every time, I mean, I almost feel bad for these guys. How do you top the last match they had? Because
Right.
every time they have matches,
Add gold.
Yeah.
add gold. But they go so far with all their matches. I can't wait to see what they do at a takeover or something along those lines. Because now that there's gold on the line, I think this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, there's, what Keith Lee said, he was talking about being a moment maker, a game changer, and he definitely is, but you have to have that person that can go up against him and make those moments happen. It's not just one person. So, and I'm not sure who the right person is.
True.
But
I want to shout out to Dylan Matthews, who says two things. First, the Keith Lee theme song is still trash, but he's saying Keith Lee. Well, the song is all right, but the rap is terrible. But Keith Lee leaving and letting Priest and Dominic fight amongst themselves is a very heel move.
yeah.
Thoughts?
No, I don't think so.
Well, no, he was getting out of the way. The way I interpret it was he was like, all right, I'll let you guys figure it out, and I'm gonna go and chill back
Yeah.
in the locker room.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's how I felt. Where he was like, all right, I got my gold. I don't need to bother with this until
Champion's
I need
advantage.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, I got the gold. I don't need to.
Who else is going to
play
eat the
with these.
catering, right?
Yeah, right, guy. I sent you something, and also thoughts about Keith Lee being the new North American champion.
My thoughts?
Yeah, thoughts. Yeah, I mean the fact that
Keith Lee.
I love Keith Lee.
You know what? These are my thoughts.
Basking in his glory.
I'm basking. I'm always down to bask a little, and also my dad's name's Keith,
Oh, that's cool.
and my favorite teacher's last name was Lee. So
That should be your name then if you were to start wrestling.
It
Yeah.
really should be my favorite
Seriously,
name.
I think we have your name.
I know. I think you have to go from like the street you're born on minus your dad's middle name, something like
But
that.
I
But
was-
my thoughts are, I think it's a great pick, and I think I'm gonna need to do his entrance for one of these promos one of these days.
Fair enough,
right.
fair enough. I mean, the song sucks, but okay, let's talk about Tommaso Ciampa, who is on this quest to get his NXT title back. And he's doing it the most vicious way possible.
So vicious.
Decimating the Undisputed Era. Which sidebar, the Undisputed Era is going through a really tough time the past 2 weeks.
Man.
I have, they're out of the Dusty Rhodes Classic. They lost the North American title.
Yes.
They lost at Worlds Collide. And they got beat up backstage.
Yeah.
If you own Undisputed Era stock, sell. So
Sell.
He put Adam Cole through a table. What?
Oh my gosh. He totally, like you said, he decimated, just scattered the Undisputed Era
Bobby
backstage.
Fish, no.
No, it was so dramatic.
Bobby Fish.
Ciampa, I loved this promo tonight.
Sure.
He has been fighting so hard for a chance at this gold and to go against Adam Cole, and I just felt the heartache and the passion behind it. He was like kind of he was very angry, very vicious, but you could tell that there was like some heart there where he was like, I'm still kind of a good person.
You make it sound like he went to a nightclub and was like, "Where's your title?"
No,
oh, I'm sorry.
he was
Get out of here.
Ciampa brought it tonight,
for sure.
and poor Adam Cole.
Does
getting
Tommaso Ciampa
getting
get
the
his title
table.
back? Jack Farmer.
I want him to. Yeah.
But will he?
Will he get it though at Takeover?
Take over Portland,
Portland.
which is 2 weeks, 2 weeks and change away. It's February
yeah,
16th.
a few weeks. Yeah.
No.
Ooh.
No.
He's doubling
Well,
down.
they're building its
I think-
WrestleMania season,
I think Adam Cole retains because I think you're right. The Undisputed Era has been taking some L's,
Yeah.
Yeah,
some
a lot of them.
hard
Yes.
L's. And if he was to lose it, I think if he was to lose it, they're done. It's
Yeah.
over. Time to move on.
Yeah,
Time to move on.
faction's done. Yeah.
But I've said before, Ciampa is the best storyteller in NXT.
It's
Fair.
incredible.
Everything he's done for as long as I can remember has been outstanding, best thing on the show quality.
Mm-hmm.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, the chat. I'm looking at the chat right now, and Zeno
What do they
Iris.
think?
Yeah. Well, it says save it for Velveteen, which is interesting. Interesting choice because he is kind of injured only out
Yeah.
there.
Well, I do miss Velveteen.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting that Regal came out and was kind of on the side of Adam Cole, being like, "Tommaso, what are you doing?" You know what I mean? I feel like I was kind of like the most even keeled general manager role. I love the way Regal is not a heel or a face, but he's the interest of the brand, right?
Yeah, I mean, Regal wants to do what's best for, like the brand. So he's
Right.
gonna like put over the champion.
Sure.
But,
And if you're putting people through tables, someone's got to shake their finger at you.
yeah,
and
someone
tell
has to be mad.
tell
like,
you you
like,
did something
hey,
bad.
Like slap your hand and be like, you did something bad.
I don't know. Hey, it's a Wild West of Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
There's no GMs over there.
No, but I think it worked. I think it worked because it pushed Adam Cole down the ramp and into the ring to cause all the ruckus.
Well, I don't think Ciampa gets it. I really think that's a kind of a cool story, and he'll be
Yeah.
he won't get it at Takeover.
No, I
He'll
don't think he'll
go
get it
somewhere
at
else.
TakeOver.
That's
Yeah.
put me,
I
which
think
means
if
it will
they're-
happen because I'm the worst at predictions. I'm the worst at predictions. It's totally proven. But moving on, it's now time for Flobito's Booth Thing of the Week.
Boo Thing of the Week.
Oh man, this song I sing when I'm in the shower. Give it up for Miss Deonna Purrazzo. I gotta say this, the Virtuoso has been around the NXT system for a while. Her match today wasn't quite in her favor, taking the L to Shotzi Blackheart, but she has what we call the it in spades. She's dripping in it. Her performance, her costuming, her posturing. I gotta give it to her, maybe even Chelsea Green too, but Deonna Purrazzo, if you ever checked out on Instagram, is totally living her best life, and there's only more than upside for her, and that's why she is this week's Booth Thing of the Week. So, speaking of women's division, Tegan Nox, Dakota Kai,
Yeah.
former besties that were a tag team, but they broke up. That never happens in wrestling.
Never. We all stick together all the
The Mega
time.
Powers were a unit. Thoughts about the match, Emily May?
We've all been waiting for this. We've all, we've seen this build up. Dakota Kai taking out Tegan Nox. So there's a lot of backstory there, and they're just, Tegan. Both of them have this it factor. I think I love on commentary they were saying like the bonds of sisterhood are like no longer, they're broken.
Right.
Which I feel like this match was like the epitome.
That was very borrowed, though. He totally oversold it.
Yeah.
The bonds of sisterhood.
The war of attrition.
But I love
Music
that because
reference. Mamma mia.
All the way up.
But I loved that because
Yeah.
that's so true because that's what they're displaying when
Sure.
they're in the ring, and they had some some stuff outside of the ring where they're trying to like take each other out. But we were talking about like the emotional and like psychological kind of warfare that's happening with Tegan Nox and the braces on her legs, and I feel like using those things is interesting and adds another element where she has to like emotionally and psychologically overcome something, not just physically.
Good point. Good
so
point.
I feel like that was a really good moment tonight when they were going at it.
Jack Farmer.
I was shocked we got this today.
Yeah.
This felt like a takeover match.
Absolutely, it was quick, but yeah, I agree.
No, I mean, I guess the scenario I thought
sure.
called for a takeover match. So that shocked me we got it today. I mean, it shocked me.
Free TV. Yeah.
It ended the way it did.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I think it makes sense to have it after the Royal Rumble. I think.
I would definitely after the Royal Rumble, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing. No one would fault NXT if they held it to takeover.
Yeah, no,
but we got it. We
wouldn't.
got it today. Unless there's
Yeah.
a stipulation happening. Last October, when NXT went to 2 hours on USA, I remember having this conversation with you, saying, "You know what? I don't really see the aesthetic difference between Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai. If I have to pick, I'm Tegan Nox." And I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
And I want to. Has that changed any? Even with and if it hasn't, why so?
I do like Dakota Kai more
No.
as I think what she's been doing lately has been a lot better. I think she stands out a lot more, but I like Tegan Nox.
Yes.
You know, everyone likes their boo.
Is she a boo?
Is she a boo thing?
Yeah.
Boo thing of the week. Jack Farmers.
Boo thing of the week.
Yeah. I actually would say I'm actually a fan of Dakota Kai. I like the fact she has a bit of an attitude. We don't have
Yeah.
faces and heels anymore. We have antagonists and protagonists.
Yes.
However, since becoming an antagonist, her win-loss record leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, she lost that match to Mia Yim a couple weeks ago. She got kind of like destroyed ringside a couple weeks ago. Was there any doubt in your mind that she probably would have won, or any kind of uncertainty at all?
I didn't really like mind that she didn't necessarily get this win because it adds to her grit. It adds to her the like she has like a psychological kind of character background where she's like a little bit more what's the word?
Calculating, smart.
Yeah, calculating.
Okay.
Yeah, like she's calculated. She's trying to create these scenarios that aren't like a little bit deceitful in the characters that she's constructing, and so like getting a win, like okay, it's gonna be good, but it just adds more to her character when she gets some losses and had some brooding moments.
But allow me to complain
Yes,
and
you can
whine
complain and
about
whine.
something very specific, which is totally out of my control, but I'm going to complain anyway. Tegan Nox was supposed to be the hero, but she got help from Candice LeRae.
Yes, Candice LeRae
Isn't
came
the
out.
bad person? Isn't the antagonist supposed to have a backup and all that kind of thing? Why is Tegan Nox and listen to help Candice LeRae, or why is Candice LeRae helping out Tegan Nox in this situation?
But didn't Candice LeRae help like block the chair? So she didn't like bring out a chair and then make it happen. She like was protecting the chair.
So she's like Batman, just hanging
Yes.
around, but injustice.
Candice
You know what I'm
LeRae's gonna
saying?
have her like her candy logo in the sky.
Come on. I can't stand it. Jack Farmer, would you want to see these two wrestle again? And if so, would you add a stipulation?
I think you'd have to add a stipulation if you were to do it again.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with it. This one was short.
Yeah.
I don't understand. If they were to do it again, I'd be interested to see what the storytelling will be as to how we get there.
Yeah.
Because if they just decide to have another match, it would seem kind of repetitive. But
Yeah.
NXT is very good at justifying these kind of things and moving things forward. So I'd be open to it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's gonna be like a video package come out later like tonight or tomorrow that something happened backstage or something to kind of add to the story and continue the drama.
This is kind of a sidebar for me, but I like the fact that NXT doesn't like neglect story, like Beth Phoenix today. You know,
Oh my god, the opening was perfect.
Right.
It addressed everything that happened this weekend, and it totally made sense. And it was like, and it was funny because when I first saw her pop up before they started talking, I was like, she looks upset.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I hope, like I was like, I hope she's okay. And then she started talking about what happened this weekend. I was like, it's amazing.
It was kind of interesting because it was like, you know what, because what Randy Orton did to Adam, whatever. But I'm like, you got busted open. I want to mention that first.
I know. I was
And
like,
she wrestled.
Yeah, and she mentioned, like, she didn't even mention really what happened to her. She mentioned Yeah.
Fellas,
what happened to
get you a
her
Beth Phoenix.
husband.
Get you a Beth Phoenix.
Yes, she did get busted open, and like that, like she was phenomenal this weekend. The
glamazon.
so super proud of her.
Let's speak about being super proud. Robert Stonebrand, proud of his client, Chelsea Green, with a match against Caden Carter. I remember this end of the year, I was like, Caden Carter's breakout year is 2020. She got the win today, surprisingly to some people, over Chelsea Green. Emily May, here's a question I have for you. I am pretty sure you didn't expect Caden Carter to win.
No,
or
I
did you?
didn't.
But the fact that she did, does that say more about Caden, or does it say more about Chelsea Green?
You know, again, Chelsea Green had, she had an amazing weekend, as well with her debut at the Royal Rumble. And so I wasn't disappointed. I wouldn't have been disappointed. I'm not disappointed about the result tonight, and I wouldn't be disappointed if like Chelsea Green got it. So I think it was just, it's too, again, there's two talents that are trying to figure out their place in NXT and where they're going. And and Chelsea Green has this, Robert Stone trying to like manage her and get her to that title shot. Yeah. So again, she has some stories that are developing that she's trying to figure out. And so I think it wasn't anything that like I was upset about. Yeah. I think it was a solid match, and it was a good place for them to be at.
Jack Farr, I want to pick your brain on this one, because I think AEW is in a second stage with the women's division. They're introducing new characters with new desires and drives. If you look at Chelsea Green's debut, or re-debut if you want to be technical, if you watched the past year with Robert Stonebrand, she's floated between NXT and UK, had a couple losses on Raw, had her Royal Rumble debut, and didn't last very long in that one, and was pulled from the Women's Battle Royal a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Now, for someone who has never seen Chelsea Green before, how would you think her debut campaign is to a casual fan?
Well, I guess first and foremost, it speaks to, again, just how deep the roster is for women's wrestlers on NXT, because I think anywhere else, Chelsea Green would be a superstar.
Sure.
And so the fact that she didn't come up with a win, I think, says a lot about just how talented the group is on NXT. As far as you had asked, what does this say about Chelsea Green? I think the loss speaks more to the Robert Stone brand. I was actually shocked that he really debuted and his client is not doing well. Sure. I thought when he came out that this was
I could see that.
I thought he was gonna be a big deal and I almost thought he was gonna have like a stable. He seemed like he was gonna be awesome. So I'm actually really shocked that she hasn't had a lot of success, because she wasn't in the Rumble very long either.
No.
So I'm very interested in that. But Caden Carter is cool, so I'm glad she won. But very, very shocking. Surprise! Well, I was surprised.
Yeah, I'm interested to see like what do you do like as Robert Stone, like how do you move forward when your client, I guess, is like losing and not doing well, and like what like I would love to know like are they going to put out more like what's his story and why is he pushing for this, and like is there some reason why she's losing, and like is there more to that, and I'm wondering if they're like keeping it. And, because, like, what's his story and what's happening with him that's leading
I think that's why Caden Carter was a perfect opponent. Had Chelsea Green got, like, demolished by Mia Yim, you can say, well it's Mia Yim was the number one contender. Caden Carter has a win-loss record that's kind of beatable. Yeah. And the fact she didn't get the job done and it was small packaged, it was kind of like, oh, well, whoops, I do think that opens a door for a lot of storytelling. Does Robert Stone get some kind of backup? Does he scold Chelsea Green? Does Chelsea Green, like, become more vicious? So I thought that was a perfect match, and then it gave Caden Carter a little bit of a bump.
Yeah, exactly.
For
like,
a
does
win.
he give up on her, and it's like, no, I can't even deal with
match,
you.
I'm done.
Like, how long does this go, and like how, and I would love to know like what fans on the chat think about this pairing.
A lot of the people in the chat just says Chelsea Green's boo thing, but that's
but this is just a really great example too, is how, and you had mentioned NXT being so good about storytelling and keeping stories, and I think this is a good example of like we don't worry about this situation because we know NXT is going to do it well.
Yeah. They'll take care of us.
There are other stories, there are other places where you may see something in wrestling and something like this happens and you throw your hands up and go, well, what was the point of all this build-up? But with NXT, they have such goodwill, we all as fans say, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
So I don't give up on anyone in this because NXT does a very good job of keeping this stuff going.
That's a good point.
Jack is the man, right? Before we get to our main event, I asked you this last time you were here, Jack Farmer, on AEW Dynamite Aftershow. It happens right after this show. We have a segment called Elite of the Week. Anyone today that stuck out to you that would be on a NXT equivalent?
Well, I think the Broserweights have
True.
to be the elite of the week.
Pot references.
So wait, I mean, they won the tournament. They're such a go figure. You have two really cool individuals. You put them together, and you've got a really cool tag team. Right?
Total straight man and comedy act. Love it. But they're serious too.
Yeah.
I mean, last time I was on here, I said I want to see them have a match, and I still do.
Yeah.
But now I kind of like seeing them palling around.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
they're fun seeing them be such opposites but getting along so well. I
Yeah,
think it's
well,
fun.
they're like this little comedic act, you know,
Yeah.
and like Pete Dunne tries to like be cool and like, okay, it's kind of like a big brother, little brother act,
Yeah.
where you're like, where like the little brother's being really ridiculous and
Right.
annoying,
Yeah.
but then you have like the big brother's like, hey, keep it cool, keep
Yeah.
it cool.
Right.
I
Keep it
wonder
cool.
what they bond
But
over.
I love it. I love watching
I like,
them
did
together.
they bond over Pokemon cards? Like, what's the link between the two of
I
them?
don't know. I mean, they must have to like go out and like go to Six Flags or something.
I just see Pete on his face. Just,
What? Six feet?
okay, cool.
Where's Bugs Bunny? Can I get a picture of Bugs Bunny?
Like Tweety Bird. Like I don't know. They're
Ironically, it's Pete Dunne that wants the pictures.
No, bro.
No, bro.
Let's roll into it. Our main event, the Dusty Rhodes Classic Finals. The Broserweights, Pete Dunne, Matt Riddle against the Grizzled Young Veterans, Zach Gibson and James Drake. The match I thought delivered. We got the perfect NXT versus
So
NXT UK final. I was surprised the Broserweights won the match, but I'm not mad. Emily May, thoughts about the match?
I mean, I'm kind of in your camp as well. I thought that, the Broserweights, I thought, I love them, so I kind of was like rooting for them, but I also was thinking like the Grizzled Young Veterans would win too. So I was like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think overall the match, it had a really good build up. So you had this like kind of comedic tag team versus like a really serious like, NXT UK team. And so you had contrasting styles where they're trying to like figure out the best strategy to attack. And it had a little slow build up, but then the end was like an explosion of just like energy and, them fighting back. And there was like really surprise moments that were really great. And I think it got the energy. The fans loved it. They were chanting. They were in it, from the beginning.
No doubt in my mind, the match delivered on all fronts. The thing that I liked about it too is that they didn't hold it back. They didn't say, in 2 weeks, here's our final.
No, they didn't. They really made it so this was the thing that you had to look forward to tonight.
But let's talk about the Grizzled Young Veterans for a
Yeah.
bit, because that was a team that probably was not known as well as other groups in this tournament. They had a lot of promos and saying, look, you guys, we're just better at what we do. They were on the bump. Shout out to the bump.
Yeah.
They were all these other things saying that we were going to win. They took out Kushida and Alex Shelley.
Yeah.
Is it wrong to think they had a chance of winning this tournament? And,
No.
and if so, where will they go?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's incredible that they went and they did kind of their like campaign to say, hey, we're going to take this. We're going to win. It was like their marketing campaign for the Oscars.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going for this. We want it. And so I think a lot of people believe they were going to take it. And so I don't know what their next steps are. I mean, what do they... Are they staying together? Are they gonna
Sure.
Are they gonna break up and do like some singles competition? I think they're great together. So I think staying together would be the best move. But finding a place for them and finding alternative tag teams that they can go against is going to be hard because this story was so good. And like with like the Dusty Rhodes Classic, you get to put people together that you don't necessarily get to see all the time. And so sometimes you like create lightning and lightning hits, and I feel like we did with these guys.
Yeah, NXT did something very sneaky here because
Very sneaky.
we
Very sneaky.
always because they've needed some tag teams, and we always complain when people get quote unquote thrown together.
Yeah.
And that's
Nice one, huh?
exactly what happened. But because it was veiled under the guise of the Dusty Rhodes Classic,
Right.
we accept it.
Yeah.
And we embrace it. We're like, hey,
It's
this
the
is
rules
fine.
of the game. It's the guidelines that the box
Right.
that we're creating. This is what we're going to work within.
I'm glad you
Right.
mentioned that question because
Because if this was just, I think if they had just said, hey, by the way, this is a tag team, we'd go, oh, this is a thrown together tag team.
Right.
But because it was done this way, now we love it. We embrace it. And
Yes.
it's great. And now they have a name and we're all in. And it's very sneaky NXT. I'm on to you.
So I was
but it
talk-
was great.
I was
Yeah.
talking to George Ramos about this at the Popcorn Talk Tower about this thrown together team. What is the balance of a team that's thrown together, like a Riddle and Dunne, and someone like, say, Air Boom, like a Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne, that are together long enough we kind of think they're a tag team? Because you can say the Grizzled Young Veterans are a tag team, a legitimate one, but they are kind of two different individuals and styles. They aren't wearing the same trunks or tights. Where is the balance we have when we say they're thrown together versus they're an organic team?
Most teams are thrown together. That's the thing.
Right.
They stick around together long enough for us to say, oh, okay, we accept that.
Yeah, I think eventually if you're together long enough and you have the same unified brand, the same unified look, you are following the same storylines, you're eventually going to be considered a tag team.
I mean, the New Day was at one
and you're
point
working together.
a couple people thrown together.
True.
Exactly.
And now we're happy with it.
By the way, that podcast is hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
The New Day
It's
one.
the best.
There's this thing that, sidebar, but this thing where Big E talks about like the time when they had like the you vote for the match. And it was like either him against Del Rio or Swagger, but Swagger won. He was like just mad that he had to fight Swagger for so long. The chat is going off. For some reason, Dylan Matthews goes, shout out to Six Flags. Okay, great. Dang MQ says the Broserweights are great. Zeno Irish says I like the pairing. I mean, they totally grow on me. Pot references aside, I think they have a good complement of what they are. They could be attraction.
They do. And, it's one of those things like it's sometimes opposites attract, and you just kind of have to work with it.
Sure.
It kind of gives people a different opportunity to stretch some muscles that they might not do if they were with someone that was like a similar personality trait.
Yeah.
So
2.5 weeks from now, Takeover Portland, the Broserweights, Undisputed Era. Who do you got and why?
Oh goodness,
Bro.
So logically and strategically, I think Undisputed Era, but my heart goes with the Broserweights.
Don't go with your heart. That's where I get my predictions wrong. Going with your heart. That's a bad idea.
That's why I'm not good with predictions. Because I just love everyone.
See, I think I'm good, but I'm not, and that's my problem. Like, I bet all in red. Dang it,
all blue.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you, Jack? What do you have? Broserweights for the Undisputed Era. Take over Portland.
Well, I've never been wrong with a prediction. As
Are
we
you
know.
sure?
I
You had
have
Lana
a
win the Rumble.
100%
Prediction.
So I'm telling you right now, Broserweights are going to win it.
Okay, so they're not going to win then.
No, the Broserweights are winning.
Asterisk.
They're taking it.
They're taking over Portland.
They're taking it, and that's why Adam Cole's going to retain. Is he's going to be the last one standing with gold.
Is that kind of messed up for Adam Cole? Not Adam Cole, but for the Undisputed Era that they
I feel like
amass these things in reverse order?
They just can't win.
It's been pretty rough.
It's been rough on
Well,
them. So
they did have every single title at the same time.
I
think
would've said that for months.
I don't know if we can say they never win.
So is this like the end of an era?
Undisputed Era. Wrestle puns.
We're professionals.
That's a good point. It's a really good point. It may be the end of the Undisputed Era as we know it.
I mean, this might be a way, like, if it does happen at TakeOver Portland, it might be that chance where it's like, all right, this faction doesn't exist anymore.
True. Jack Farmer, final point about today's episode of NXT before we get out of here.
I thought it was another fantastic episode. NXT is always great. A lot of people say it's the Wednesday Night Wars. I think NXT's just always been good.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Jack Farmer, where can the world find you in 2 minutes and online?
You can find me online at jackcfarmer.com as well as at Real Jack Farmer across all social media. You can also check me out on the AEW Dynamite Aftershow podcast going on in about 10 minutes and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific, as well as the AEW social media skim every Wednesday, and finally as well as the Raw Aftershow every Monday at 9 p.m. Pacific.
I was like, I'm asleep.
Dang.
Awesome. You can find me on all social media platforms at Emily Mayheller. You can find me on Championship Wrestling from Arizona on Fight TV on Sundays. And then Wednesdays at AfterBuzz for Women's Wrestling Weekly at 4 o'clock, and then NXT.
I got nothing. No, I'm just kidding. Brand new web series is called Flobotomy, available on AfterBuzz TV Wrestling and Sports. And take a controversial opinion. This one, MVP is the greatest wrestling character of all time. I'm Flobo Boyce. You can follow me at Flobo Boyce on Twitter, at Flobito on Instagram, and of course, Flobito.com. But until next time, buzz you later.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.